All right, YouTube, there's been an explosion in New York City in the Chelsea neighborhood with multiple injuries, and it boils down to the two usual suspects. If you're talking about an explosion apparently involving humans, you're talking generally about Islamic terrorism. If you're talking about something else, it's usually because of poor maintenance. If it's in New York City, it's just like, the 150-year-old like wooden pipes that are still being used deep underneath the city. Their gas lines from time to time have a tendency to blow up, but it looks like this like blew up in a dumpster or something like that. So it looks like it was probably an IED of some sort. Of course, you got to realize there was a pipe bombing just earlier today in New Jersey, and so common sense would tell you, yeah, it could be related in some way. Maybe we've got some really low-grade group of Islamists trying to conduct these attacks, and this is two examples of them not quite getting it right because they're like really new at it. Like they were basement neckbeards. They went over to Syria, learned how to build a bomb, came back. They didn't follow directions properly. They were like one of those people. They open up the instructions of the Lego set. They can never figure it out. Where the fuck's this piece? I don't know. I don't have one. And then there's two of these pieces. Why is there an extra piece? That sort of stuff. But yeah, there has been an explosion in Chelsea in New York City. It's not certain yet whether this was some sort of attack. It doesn't appear that anybody, at last count, as far as I saw, has died, thankfully, but there are multiple injuries. It seems that there were minor injuries predominantly. Of course, with the pipe bomb that went off earlier today in New Jersey, not really that far away, that didn't injure anybody. Apparently, the plan, whoever put it where it was, the plan was apparently to attack the charity run being held there. A Marine charity, U.S. Marines, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so that would have been like the Boston bombing, really, if that had happened. It didn't actually go as planned by the attackers, though, because it went off, 10, 20 minutes early, so they completely fucking failed. And this one apparently didn't kill anybody, thankfully, but anytime you have two, devices within general proximity, within the same metro area, you have two explosions in the same day, then unless we're going to assume that this is like de Blasio and Bloomberg style, like carpet bag maintenance being done to the city's underlying infrastructure, and it was just, the gas main just happened to blow up underneath this dumpster or something, and so it looked like the dumpster blew up. Unless it was something like that, yeah, it was probably an explosive somebody planted there. I think it was outside of a home for the blind, if I read the story correctly. I'm not sure who would attack them. I guess the idea was to kill somebody on the street. Maybe Hillary Clinton put it there. Maybe Trump was going to take a walk there later, and so she put one of these in the dumpster because she knows she can't compete. All jokes aside, though, I mean, it's concerning, but nobody apparently in possibly two attacks in the same day in the same general region of the country. Nobody's died, so that's positive news. Unfortunately, what happens if they've got like 3 or 4 more devices planted? This could cause panic. You have like one more, and everything will suddenly melt down. People will be in chaos. The news does have it live, and they've had it live for like the last, I think, half hour or so. So people are getting a little bit concerned when you have an attempted bombing of a charity run in New Jersey, and then you have some sort of explosion go off in New York with multiple injuries, even if there's no deaths. People start to get a little bit on the concern side. They get a little bit paranoid. It's like after 9/11, people thought the Hoover Dam had been hit, people thought nukes had been deployed, people thought we were at war with Russia already or something like that. The Boston Marathon bombing, there was all sorts of rumors and disinfo flying around. Now, it's to the point. When you have an event like this, the real problem you can run into is in a city like New York, you have shootings basically every day. Somebody gets shot and all of a sudden somebody thinks it's a terrorist attack instead of just gang violence or something, and everyone gets all sort of bent out of shape. And then the conspiracy crowd pipes up. They're like, oh, they're covering it up. We're under attack by Muslims. 2 arms, everybody. You have problems. But no, I think all odds are that this is probably an attempted attack of some kind that didn't quite actually manifest itself fully. But there's always the chance that it was like, a century-old gas line or some poorly maintained generator in one of these buildings, or something along those lines. New York City it may look shiny on the surface in Manhattan, but really, most of the city is really crumbling and falling apart when you really think about it. A lot of these buildings and a lot of this infrastructure is very, very old indeed. And it hasn't really been more than spit-shined superficially since it was first put into place. Look at the subways or anything like that. This stuff could collapse at any time, leaving gaping sinkholes in the city. So yeah, there's been an attack, possibly of some kind. There's been an explosion at the very least. That's about all. Peace out.